When you don't go to Geico.com, car insurance can be confusing. Like Swedish techno confusing.
Bark, bark, meow, meow. Dance with me, purple cow. Bark, bark, meow, meow. Ooh, you lovely cow.
Geico makes it easy. With 24/7 access, all you have to do is go to Geico.com and you could save money on car insurance. It just makes sense. Unlike,
Dance with me, purple cow. I like your moves.
Blog Talk Radio.
Rahul, this Rahul back. How's everyone this morning? Nafir Atumreye. All right, today is the 12th of July. Also the second day in month Kimampet Taurawet. All right. This year, we'll talk about the Nuwaupian calendar on another day. But right now, we have a 30-minute show, and we're going to get right to the point. The Nuwaupian Assassin deals with Anpu, a.k.a. Rick, this Tar Noonbu cat, this Malik high yellow dude up in New York. Y'all know I can't stand him. And definitely this Chuck Morgan with that watered-down website, Nuwaupianism. All right. First, before we get started, what people don't understand about me is that I attack people who slander wu-nuwaupu and attack the Nuwaupian family. I do not attack my Nuwaupian family. I don't like to argue with my Nuwaupian family. I don't deal with the family on a lot of things. I roll with what Partner Bad Yanun has chosen for his lawyer, his legal team. I support legal teams, getting donations to the Bank of America, et cetera, et cetera. But when it comes to dealing with slanderers, that's my specialty. I try to cut and slice them every way possible. You know what I mean? Because why would you slander someone if you don't have the truth? Why don't you just present what the truth is to the people, right, and let the people make their choice? That's because these niggas who slander don't have any information. They just have nothing else to do. But there's a reason why they slander. We want to get to the reason. You know what I'm saying? We got your panties all up in a bunch. All right. I want to read this here. This is something I read off of Facebook yesterday, and it was very inspiring because this is part of the answer to why these fools slander. All right, it says, "Greetings, family, Nuwaupu, worldwide. I was given this task to convey this message to set the record straight for our father, Partner Babiano. Please share that all can be on one accord. No more deceptions, no more games, no more ego, and no more distractions. These are his wishes and the formula to his freedom. Why is it that all these years of my abuse and all the promises that others made over my life, the ones they hire, not one did I hire? Now I hired the Texas legal team, and so many have so much to say about Mario, the paralegal. I trust him and my lawyer, Victoria, with my life. I hired them myself. As to some, they never hired or helped with the case themselves, only helped others who hired lawyers. It was my sister and Kedar Massenberg who hired Garland. It was, I don't know who hired Malik attorney Zulu Shabazz. I don't know who hired Lita Holden. It was Anitra Cross who hired attorney Sanwindi and Jawe Tabajet who hired Brownstone firm in Florida. It was Rachel and Nifu who hired attorney Adrian Patrick. I don't know who hired attorney Regina that McKean deals with. It was Miss Lewis who hired attorney Tucker. I don't know who hired attorney Tina Forster. To look at that, most who have so much to say never spent one dime out of their own pocket and never have a legal team, and only keep saying, I got this way to get Pops out, yet I can't tell anyone, and it never comes true. Yet these people are first to try to question the legal team that I hired and trust Victoria and Mario. So tell them such, the hot plate is up. Help or move on. No promises. Deliver or step back and let this legal team move forward. Now, next point. I now realize that there are some who are close, very close, who really don't want me free or out. They know they will be exposed for all the games, and some others don't want me to tell my side of the story on the land. Who was really sleeping with who? Who played money games? Not me. Why do you think so many ran off that day? They did not really, in this case of the spending most of your lives around me. They knew the truth, those who worked in the office and handled the monies, and some who lived with the children who knew the truth. They don't want me out in public media telling the whole story. So you have some close who never really helped me when you really checked. Some who really pushed others away would check up on them and watch them or ask about bills or where you were. Those I know about. They just don't think I don't. You guys in the games, I say stop it now. Stop all the games. You see our tribe is growing now once again. Don't let the luster and the lust, greed, ego block us again, as it did in the past over and over from Brooklyn to upstate to Georgia. People who use my name, face, words to make money. Stop it now. I repeat, as soon as I hire a legal team, then all these people have so much negative to say about him, Mario. I know I trust him and Attorney Victoria with my life. Tucker is working with her. Tina is working with them, and we have more in the works. Yet comes my medical, my health. I pray that I am very clear. Okay. So with that being said, we all now know what it is. All right. And that's not so hard to follow. But the key, what Panababian was breaking down, is those who are close or were close. And let's start with this slanderer called Anpu, a.k.a. Rick, who I know personally. Now, I don't really know him now, all right, but I do know, all right, where he's from, the District of Columbia, D.C., et cetera. So I remember when he moved up on the land. But what he was saying is that trying to point out the many mistakes that was made in the case, he's claiming he's not a Nuwaupian anymore. So now, if he's saying wu-nuwaupu is not the way, all right, then why don't he explain what is the way? All right, and he's slick trying to say, for me watching the interviews with him, that the victims, when Pani Badanu took the plea deal, right, were already out. But what he didn't mention was Kathy Johnson, at the time, who was Dr. Malachi Z. York's wife, right? She was incarcerated at that time. She was not released. All right? So he's making a lot of mistakes, and there's a lot of holes in his story, especially when he talks about the surveillance, what they were watching, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And one of the brothers was breaking down how they use satellite surveillance, which Anpu or Rick didn't break down, is that they can observe you from satellite. And if you have a cell phone, all right, they can track your every movement through Google satellite. All right, and they can watch you from a drone, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So Rick is on some bullshit, you know what I mean? And fortunately, this is only a 30-minute show for them because I only have but so much time to really get on to this. But hopefully we will get down with Culture Freedom Radio and go more in-depth on what's going on. Now, this Malik dude up in New York, right, who was with on an interview on Saturday TV with Prince York, his main motivation is money. You know what I'm saying? He's a high yellow ass loser. What he did, he's seeing the Sonetta Mercedes Benz, the polite money, all right, and he wants a taste of that, basically, and he's trying to use the Nuwaupian doctrine to do it. Like, he wants to debate. Nigga, fuck you. There's nothing to debate. If you really had evidence, you know, because I ask some crazy-ass questions at times, and what I mean by that is that there are a lot of people who are out here slandering that are quick to say, Dr. York, you know, fuck some kid in the ass. And I'm like, yeah, excuse my vulgarity, but this is the way the Nuwaupian assassin rolls. You know what I'm saying? So my question is to Malik, right? I'm going to say it again. Did Dr. York fuck your kid in the ass? The answer is no. All right? Now, did he fuck you yourself in the ass, Malik? The answer is no. So you have no experience with him molesting your child or any of your children or you yourself. So that means that you have to have now evidence. All right? Where is the evidence? You know what I'm saying? He always claimed he got evidence because he won a debate, you know what I'm saying? Because Polite and them be very generous when they giving out money for these debates, 1,000 over here, 1,000 over here. He think he going to make a quick G off of Dr. York's name. Nigga, fuck you. You have no debate. You have no evidence. Because if people would just listen to Dr. Bright's report, which is on YouTube, all right, if a child was sexually molested anally or whatever, then they would have to go to the hospital. And you got Baldwin County, Putnam County, you got Madison, all right, you got Jasper County, all right, oh, that's Morgan County out there in Madison, all right, Gray, Macon, all right, a couple more counties in between, all right, and the question is, where are the hospital reports? That's all we want to see. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear, well, we so-called victims. I don't want to hear none of that crap. Show me the medical report. Now, you mean to tell me the way they went after Partner Bad Daniel, that none of these hospitals have medical reports that can verify that, quote, a child was admitted and treated for such? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's just BS. So, Malik, you can forget the debate thing, nigga. You just work for a living, homie. Yeah, I mean. Next up on the list is this Tar Noonboo cat. Such a waste of talent. A lot of these cats here, when they claim, want to call Prince York the liar or whatever, yeah, I mean, this cat here just does this video editing with that sorry-ass music in the background and never gets on voice audio to explain what it's about. Everybody want to say that Dr. York slanders or I'm sorry, what's that word I'm looking for? Plagiarizes from Aleister Crowley, the Nine Ether. Said he said that shit, saying that shit. And the funny part of it is, right, the funny part of it is that Aleister Crowley never wrote a book on Nine Ether. He just mentioned it in a sentence in his book. Show me a book where Aleister Crowley is teaching, quote, black people about their Nine Ether heritage. Do you see what I'm talking about? It just don't make sense. Why would a person who's in the witchcraft and masonry and part of oppressing black people, right, teach you niggas about your own Nine Ether heritage when it's not in his DNA to do that? All right. Then they want to say that Panabab slanderized, plagiarized from Zachariah Sitchin. Now, if he did that, then why aren't y'all calling Zachariah Sitchin and getting the doctrine for the sun cycle from him? You know what I'm saying? So this Tar Noonboo, these are little boys. These are my example of what I call bitch men, bitch made. You understand me? And these are the niggas that got their panties up in a bunch because they have a reason why they slander. Anpu's reason is for some shit that went down on the land. I know what went down on the land, Rick, but I never really said what it was that went down because it'll be too many names out there, and Nuwaupian, quote, we ain't supposed to air our dirty laundry out over the air. So I'm not going to throw him out there like that. But I know the reason why he's slandering. You know what I'm saying? Now, Chuck Morgan, this sissy-ass nigga. First thing, you have to ask yourself a question. All right. Has Dr. Malachi York ever put out an incomplete book that wasn't finished? So this Chuck Morgan here, who has no creativity, because if he had creativity, he wouldn't be biting off the doctrine or the point or what you call the black print of 360 questions. So now he copies that and copies the introduction. Y'all talk about plagiarism, and y'all don't want to address that. the reason why I'm writing this book, or this is so-and-so, and it's the dangers of so-and-so. He copies that verbatim with a little twist to it, and y'all don't address that. All right? And then he says he has 360 questions to ask a Nuwaupian, right? And he doesn't finish it. It's not 360 questions. I've read all 360 questions, part 1 through 4 of 360 questions to ask a Christian, ask an Orthodox Sunni Muslim, 360 questions to ask a Hebrew Israelite, the Israeli church. Those are complete. And the funny thing about that is no rebuttal from any of them. That's from that Tazariak nigga. He didn't rebut, or Johanna, whatever them niggas is, and they didn't respond by writing or translating a Torah for their people. This Ali Muhammad nigga didn't ask any questions from 360 questions to ask an Orthodox Sunni Muslim, nor did he translate the Quran for his people, nor the Psalms. I can go on and on and on. So they don't put in the work. You know what I mean? But they have a vested interest of why they slander. Chuck Morgan was somebody who I hustled and peddled with right there on 11th and F in Washington, D.C. All right, and he came up under Musa Ware's table. Only the old school D.C. cats would know who Musa Ware was. Musa Ware was like a real go-go hustler, and he did T-shirts and other things. You know what I mean? I remember when Musa Ware left the community, he didn't stay long, but he was still big time on go-go. Because I was downtown set up next to Musa Ware's table, and I had reggae, I had oils, incense books, but I had mostly reggae. I had a little go-go. Mostly I sold go-go uptown. But the point is Chuck Morgan couldn't even sell go-go. He couldn't sell earrings. He couldn't sell oil. He was just a short little loudmouth, bitch-made nigga. So Musa Ware got his nephews down there, Woody and Bruce. Or Woody. That wasn't his name, but I called him Woody and Bruce. And the shit hit the fan that day, but something went down with Eremia and with Woody, and all the brothers came down there and whooped ass that day, and but that's what broke up that kind of thing down there on 11th and F. But the point was, I remember Chuck Morgan being down there exclusively. You know what I'm saying? He was a sorry ass hustler. He read up from 14th Street, because a lot of brothers read up from 14th Street, and he just wasn't making no money. He was just a sorry ass nigga. Now, what took this cheeseball nigga who took a picture with Dr. York, right, and smiled with him on camera down there in Athens at the park, right, what got something went down with him as well. You know what I mean? And so these niggas are bitter. You know what I'm saying? Now, this Nuwaupu cat, they have no doctrine, all right? All they got is one book, Nature of Nature, whatever that book is, and Afro Unu and all this jazz, but they have no doctrine. All they're doing is saying and slandering about somebody who won't explain a book to them. You know what I mean? And just this cut and paste shit. The way these niggas take the video tools that they have available and just what I call cut and paste work. That's what Seti did with the Sodom Misinterpreted book. He took some pictures, cut it, and made it with a paragraph. He didn't even read the book. And people want to trip off words like homosexual and say Nuwaupians condone homosexuality. Let me explain that. See, those are once again bitch-made men who have fears, because if a guy is a homosexual, whatever you want to say, that's their business. Who cares? They're not bothering you. They're not bothering me. Why are you bothering them? You know what I'm saying? As long as they don't cross your line, you should be secure with yourself in manhood. I'm talking to all brothers. That this dude who's soft, ain't in your world, ain't in your cipher. You know what I mean? So, then they want to say that Partner Bag didn't even have chlamydia, and that all of these other things. Now, here he is in Brooklyn for over 25 years. Excuse me. Over 25 years, no child molestation. Now, all of a sudden, he wants to come to Georgia and do that bullshit. Come on. And then if you say he has chlamydia, right, then that means that every victim, quote, should have chlamydia, which is an outright lie. You know what I'm saying? Where all these other STDs come from, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, like I said, these niggas are going all out for no reason and to no avail. So this is what I do. I deal with slanderers. I don't attack the Nuwaupian family. I try my best to help protect the family and realize that I love what Prince York was saying on his interview. He took the high road around some same vultures, them same black devils. He took the high road and was like, say, let's argue in our own house. That's real talk, Prince York. You know what I'm saying? And big up to them. They get ready to go on a Dr. York tour, explaining the case and hopefully addressing slanderers, you know, because that's what I do. That's my specialty. Yeah, I mean, I sit there and I listen to these piss-poor videos, which I have a tough time sitting through, and watch these piss-poor presentations. You know what I'm saying? The only thing that they harp on, especially in this Nuwaupianism bitch webpage, is Pickle Man. That's what Malik was talking about, Pickle Man. Now, that's in Man from Planet Risk, right? Now, Dr. York made it very clear. If you haven't had the experience, right, then it don't apply to you. Some people have seen graves, lived on the land, you know, or these are European people, Caucasians, Tamils, whatever you want to call them, are putting their experiences with graves and other type of beings on the internet. They all lying too, huh? That's what I said. You know, you can say what you can deny any person's experience all you want to, but you can't deny that person. You follow what I'm saying? So if he say he saw Pickle Man, he has to explain it. I can't defend that, you know, because Dr. York can defend himself, right? That's funny. When he was out, excuse me, when he was out amongst us, right, and Man from Planet Risk came out before 2002, how come none of these bitch-made niggas asked the question about Pickle Man back then? He would have been more than happy to explain it. There's many other things throughout the scrolls that you read, right, from the 70s up to now that really he still hasn't explained yet. A lot of things he has. So the thing is, with slanderers, what I'm screaming is that if the Nuwaupian doctrine is so wrong, why don't y'all teach the people what is right? Anpu, your bitch ass ran over to the Meadow Nectar as if that's the salvation. You know what I'm saying? And we know you don't know nothing. You can't read, write, or speak Meadow Nectar. And I'll tell you why right quick, is because the ch sound. The ch sound and the tis, right, in his Meadow Nectar translations are Greek. You know, Rosetta Stone and all that. So all you do is basically going off of Greek translation. Like I said to that brother Moyat, she claims she is sister, but she ain't acting like no sister. She's acting like a brother because she act harder than some niggas. That dude, all right, why don't y'all explain in the Meadow Nectar why the black woman is or is not God? Because y'all can't, because y'all don't know it. All right? This Malik dude, his M.O. is to try to get a debate because he want to make some money. That's all it is. Because he has produced no evidence. And he acts like, oh, he's saving the evidence, but you have no hospital report. So we know his M.O. He's in it for the money. Chuck Morgan is just a lost, sick pup. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe one of the brothers in the community took his girl or something. And that's one thing. A lot of people here with the slander are saying, Dr. York will make you give up your girl. You know what I'm saying? He'll come tell your girl to come and take your girl from you and all that shit. And hey, here's what I got to say about that. Right? If your girl is truly down with you, right, I ain't saying he did that because I don't know. You know, it's a phrase I learned from the elders that if your girl come to me, you say, I didn't take your girl came to me. Meaning, it's a lot of women who have sorry-ass men, and another brother will come along, right, looking clean, got his shit together, and she leaves for him because you as a man are sorry. And I've seen that in the community happen all the time. I've seen it. You know what I'm saying? Because I was there. I was in the D.C. Jammy, and I've seen brothers lose their mates. Why? Because he was a sorry provider, especially if you didn't make your quota. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing: if she's down with you through thick and thin, she wouldn't really leave you. She should really help you. This, if you accept her help. But a lot of these brothers were just sorry ass nigga. The community tested who was sorry and who was a soldier, because while a lot of these brothers was in Juma on Friday praying, whatever they were doing, I was on the streets hustling. I never was into Juma and all that Islam shit. You know, it just wasn't me, man. I was like, you know what? I got to make my money. Yeah, I was like, well, let y'all niggas go pray. I'm going to make this money. And then it turns out that was just the school we was dealing with, and we graduated from that. But a lot of people are still holding grudges from the Ansar days on moon cycle time, and we in the sun cycle right now, which shows that they haven't elevated. Here it is, your girl left you over 30 years ago because you was a sorry-ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? And then, and here's the thing. If your girl left you for Dr. York, which is a possibility, I don't know how Partner Bad and roll with his women. That's his business. But you really should thank him because he did you a favor. Because if she didn't roll, quote, with him, because that's the accusation, then she would have left you for another brother. I've seen a lot of sisters leave brothers for another brother, and they stayed in the same community. I've seen this with my own eyes. Like I said, I won't mention no names because, like I said, it's not fair for me to put people's business out there. All right, I'm going to let Rick or Anpu himself explain the reason why he's so bitter and what happened with him on the land, because the shit did go down, right? And I know about it. So he can't fool me. And whoever did the interview saying he was Doc's right-hand man did the correct. They came up and correct that he was the manager, because that sissy-ass boy was never, you feel me, Doc's right-hand man. So these are your major slanderers, and there's a lot more when you go in the chat rooms and on, you know, people are so quick to accuse and say so many mean and harshful things, you know, and then expect Nuwaupians to turn the other cheek. Many of them do, but I don't. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, I deal with slanderers, and I'm cutting you up. I'm really getting at y'all asses to let you know how that shit feels. How does it feel to be slandered and lied on? You know what I mean? When here it is, you sacrifice your life for people, for the truth, to wake people up to the next level. And here the shit is going down with black people getting killed every day by each other first and then the police. And y'all want to bitch and complain about somebody who has the solution. And instead of saying, this is the solution for African people, well, why? Because you can't. Y'all don't have nothing. You understand me? And this is just a mild version of me because it's only 7 in the morning. You're lucky because, like I say, you know, hopefully we'll get back on Culture Freedom Radio and doing a more extensive coverage of this, the reasons why people slander. See what I'm saying? That's what people don't address, the reasons why people slander. I know, Rick, we know your reason. All right? This Nuwaupu cat, they don't have no doctrine. Fuck if I know about him. This Malik bitch is on some money, and Chuck Morgan, whatever happened with him, it definitely went down in D.C., and then he brought that bullshit with him to Georgia, and it just ain't flying. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people like them, they're prototypes like them, and then, you know what I'm saying, people want to say that all black people are your people, and no, slanderers are not my people. Just because you're black doesn't mean you're my people. But like I said, once again, I don't attack the Nuwaupian family. I attack slanderers. And the language I use and things I use on Facebook is a lot vulgar, but that's just on Facebook. Don't get it twisted. People are under the spell that Facebook is, quote, life itself, and it's not. It's just a medium to reach people. Follow what I'm saying? So if you don't like me on Facebook, stay off the page because it's going to get ugly and uglier, especially the more and more these slanderers come out. You know what I'm saying? We have to deal with them to keep them out of the way of progress and to let innocent souls find their way to the facts without all the biasness of slander. You see what I'm saying? And like I said, y'all lucky this is the morning time and it's only a 30-minute show. So once again, we will get back with more on this, well, hopefully with Culture Freedom Radio. I haven't heard from my partner Sunray in a minute. Big up to Sunray 9, Culture Freedom Radio. And he also has something to add on how people can be coerced into taking a plea bargain You know what I'm saying? Even though you didn't, quote, commit the crime. And with that being said, Hatep, Wadao, we don't say Hatep anymore. It's just Wadao. And we'll see you next on the Camino Ray Show.
When you don't go to Geico.com, car insurance can seem intense. Like breakup R&B intense.
I thought you said you loved the sweater that I got you. If you didn't, you could have told me.
Geico makes it easy. Just go to Geico.com anytime to update or check your policy without all the extra drama.
I even had a gift receipt